Now, tell me what you brought with you this morning, because we're going to listen to this right now. Okay. Set it up for us.
All right. My daughter and I this week put together a news story. I've been interviewing a number of people in the area as I've been coming in and doing most of that during spring break. Talking about Max, talking about the Day of Remembrance, and talking about when Max first publicly shared his Holocaust story with members of Temple Bethel. And so we have about a 5 3/4 minute story that deals with why there is a Day of Remembrance here in Beckley and inviting people out to it.
Okay, I think that pretty much tells us what we're going to listen to, so let's listen.
Yechel Lewin, Sarah Lewin, Joseph Lewin, Leah Lewin, Chaya Lewin.
Every spring since 1991, Temple Bethel and the Beckley community gather to remember the victims of the Holocaust with the annual Yom HaShoah, or Holocaust Remembrance Day. This particular gathering was inspired by the late Max Lewin, Beckley's only Holocaust survivor who came to southern West Virginia in 1946. Many residents were not aware of the tragedies Lewin faced until he revealed the extent of his suffering to his synagogue family. Temple Bethel members Ruth Ann Ornstein, Tom Sofer, and Dr. Joe Golden remember that day in 1990.
I'm not sure why he decided to share it. It kind of came out of the middle of nowhere in my way of thinking about it. And it's like something inside of him made it come out.
We were using student rabbis from Hebrew Union College at the time. And we had a Havdalah ceremony, and this was when the Sabbath ends and the new week begins.
At the time, we used to have gatherings in a person's home, a member of the congregation, and the ceremony involved a little bit of singing, a little bit of smelling the fragrances of spices.
After the thing develops and it's over, the rabbis usually ask if we would share a story or like what we would be thankful for the week.
And so we basically described certain things, were mostly mundane, but when it came Max's turn, he started telling about his Holocaust experience. He just started opening up and telling his memories.
And we all just kind of take a step back and take a big deep breath, and it got real quiet and we listened.
Yeah, and I don't know why that was the time, but I guess it was God's way of saying it's time to let it out and deal with it. So that is what he did, and it was heart-wrenching.
And more of us were pretty much taken off our guard because we were expecting something mild, and here was something very deep, serious, life-changing for Max, and that he had previously kept quiet about this, but somehow in that particular setting, at that particular moment, he wanted to tell us his experiences, his story.
We really didn't know what was going on in this little guy's head, but it was amazing, that he could open up to us. And he began to get better. He began to heal after that.
And I think from that point on, Max was more open in talking to people about his experience being in concentration camps and losing many members of his family.
Beginning in late 1990, Max began to make plans to memorialize his parents, 2 sisters, a brother, and his wife, who all perished in the Holocaust. The first of these was an endowed scholarship for Woodrow Wilson High School students through the Beckley Area Foundation, and a tangible reminder with the Memorial Bell Tower at Mountain State University in 1994. Former MSU Executive Vice President Jim Solosky remembers that this memorial provided catharsis for Lewin.
Max would come and just sit on those benches and look at the plaque. I think it gave him some comfort knowing what he had done and that he had left this everlasting memorial to his family.
The annual Holocaust Remembrance Day also allowed the community to honor and remember the dead. This year's commemoration will feature a 20-minute interview with Max Lewin that was recorded in 1996. This never-before-published video gives a personal glimpse of the horrors that Max encountered. including the fact that he was the only Holocaust survivor of his hometown, Lipnitsky, Poland.
And all the people, everybody from my hometown, my cousins and everything. I don't know how, I can never understand why they take me. But I was the only one, all the people I was in all over Germany and after the war in Israel, nobody, but I was the only one in the area left, in my town, in my area, people I knew. I never the end of it.
Temple Bethel Secretary Dr. Joe Golden describes the powerful emotions that Max displayed in this video.
And in the interview, you could see Max's voice get broken at times, you get more emotional, and you need to empathize with that because he's remembering the horrors that he and his family experienced and what he saw around him.
The annual Beckley Holocaust Remembrance Day will be Sunday, April 15th at 1 p.m. in Carter Hall on the campus of West Virginia University Institute of Technology. Beckley Mayor Rob Rappold explains the importance of this gathering.
We need to always have that in our mind and to make sure that that sort of atrocity and inhumane activity never happens again in our lifetime or lifetimes to come.
For more information on the annual Beckley Holocaust Remembrance Day on April 15th, visit wvremembers.com. In Beckley, I'm Lora Owston.
We are talking today here on Kirby's Corner about that day of remembrance. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes, so I hope you'll stay with us. This is News Talk WWNR, 101.1 FM, 620 on your AM dial. Good morning.